I found a roll of undeveloped film from 1964 in my grandparents' attic. 54 years later, I'm gonna try to develop it. So here's where my involvement in the story starts. In September of 2004, my grandmother passed away. After she died, my family and I were tasked with going through her belongings, deciding what goes where. At the bottom of one of the boxes, I found an old 8mm film camera.
Nowadays, more families than ever before are saving their good times in movies.
For those who are unfamiliar with 8mm cameras, it was the camcorder before there were camcorders. You'd shoot maybe 2 to 8 minutes on a roll of film, then get it developed and play it back on a projector. These weren't for Hollywood motion pictures, they were for home movies. The camera I found was a 1963 Kodak Funsaver. My grandpa told me my grandmother won the camera at the 1964 World's Fair in Queens, but he didn't recall ever seeing her use it. He let me keep it, and for the last 14 years, it's just sat on my dresser collecting dust. And I'm sure it would have continued collecting dust. But a few months ago, something happened. The door of the camera popped off, and I discovered inside was a roll of undeveloped film. I figured if 40+ years in a hot attic didn't ruin the film, me exposing it to the light surely would have done it. But still, I was interested to see if there was something that could have been done. A quick Google search revealed my options were incredibly limited. There are very few places that develop 8mm film, and in my initial search, I couldn't find anyone that develops expired 8mm film. The chemicals used today are different, and film deteriorates over time, especially in hot conditions like an attic. If I wanted to develop the film, I was gonna have to do it myself.
Well, coffee has some of these characteristics and molecules in them.
I read about a group of students that developed a development method involving coffee grounds. It's since been dubbed Cathan All, and I thought it might just work.
But it was coffee, a little bit of Drano, and vitamin C.
Dr. Scott Williams is an inorganic chemistry professor at Rochester Institute of Technology, and he and his students first came up with Cathan All. I've never developed film before in my life. Do you think this process is easy enough that I'll be able to do it?
Oh yeah, simple enough.
That's the scary part, is I'm risking losing this footage from the early 1960s if I make a mistake. I didn't want to risk permanently destroying this film, so I decided to do a practice run. They don't sell rolls of film that fit in my grandma's Kodak Funsaver, but a friend of mine owns an old 8mm camera that uses Kodak film that's still sold in stores. I borrowed his camera, and I tried to develop the film myself. I was just in the dark, and I unspooled that 8mm film and put it into this, which is a photo canister. It's meant for photo developing. There are essentially 3 steps to developing. The first step is a pre-wash, which essentially just cleans off the film, removes any sort of backing. The second one is a developer, which develops the image. And the third step is a fixer, which stops the development process. The first step is gonna be just hot water and borax, and that will clean off and remove the backing of the film. This should pour out and be like really black, and then I have to keep on rinsing it until it runs clear. The second step is a mixture of vitamin C, instant coffee, and super washing soda. Oof. Oh man, that smells. Oh, that stinks. So let's do this for 9 minutes. Ooh, it smells so bad. Last step, we are gonna pour in the fixer, and it's gonna sit in there for about 5 minutes. Should be clear. Moment of truth. Oh, there's definitely images. What is it though? Holy shit, that worked. To my surprise, it worked. Kind of. However, the results were far from perfect. If I couldn't develop a new roll of film perfectly, what would be the result of 54-year-old film? That's when I learned about Film Rescue International. Film Rescue International is a small operation run out of Saskatchewan, Canada. I jumped on a call with Greg, the founder of Film Rescue International, and he said he'd try to develop it. But he told me not to hold my breath. An attic is a terrible place to keep film. I'd be shocked if we'll be able to get an image to expose. And with that, I sent the film off to Saskatchewan.
Here's the film that Christian sent us. I'm going to take this film, I'm going to take it out of here, and I'm going to bring it into the vault here, which is a dark room now. And then once I load it into a magazine, and I'm going to put it in this ancient machine here. It's a Jameson movie film processor. We'll go in this end, we'll go through a number of baths, and then we'll come out this end, hopefully with lovely results, but most likely not with lovely results, because this film is very old and was found in a hot attic. So we're going to do our best with this. Don't know what's going to happen for sure. My guess is we're not going to get anything off of it.
A few weeks later, I received a call from Greg. We got an image. Greg warned me the image was far from perfect. Due to the age of the film and the chemicals he was using, he was only able to develop a black and white image. And because of the damage done from exposure and the heat in the attic, very little was visible. But still, he got an image. After 54 years, this reel of film was finally developed. And here it is. The start of the film reel has the most damage, so we don't really see much here, but as we get further into the roll, images begin to appear. The sound effects are added by me, by the way. Most 8mm film is silent. This is the 1964 World's Fair. My grandpa was right. I assume he's the one filming because the woman you see in the shot is my grandma. The kids around her are my mother, my aunt, and my uncle. And there they are in front of the Unisphere, which is still there, just a few minutes from where I live now. I showed the footage to my grandpa, mom, aunt, and the rest of the family shortly after receiving the footage back from Greg.
That's me with the pigtails. There I am. That's Guy. There you are, right there. I'm so glad that you actually have this. I would never ever think that I'd ever see that again, and I did. And
it's over 50 years old.
Honestly, to see my mother that young and that beautiful, it just makes me feel like I just miss her so much more, but just to have that, that's a blessing.
I can't help but be thankful the door to the camera popped off when it did. If it happened years later, perhaps the film would have been unsalvageable. There might not have been a place around to develop it, and I wouldn't be able to show it to the people that lived it.